My name's Tom. I met Myra 6 years ago during a product launch in Chicago. She was handling logistics for a partner firm. I was leading marketing for ours. We didn't exactly hit it off right away. She corrected me in front of a room full of people, challenged the delivery date I mentioned. Afterward, I pulled her aside, expecting at least a polite walk back. But she didn't flinch, didn't apologize. She stood her ground like it was nothing. And for some reason, I admired that. She was sharp, elegant, self-possessed in a way that didn't beg for validation but got it anyway. We went out for a drink that night. It turned into 4. A few months later, we were basically inseparable. By the time a year rolled around, she was working at my company, albeit in a separate division. She'd been offered a better position and accepted. Soon we were living together, then married. Myra always had a dozen plans in motion. I liked that about her. She kept things in order, organized, motivated, strategic. We lived by charts, budgets, long-term goals. Everything had direction, purpose. At work, we weren't directly involved in each other's projects, but people noticed us, called us a power couple. I liked that label more than I probably should have. We talk about quitting someday, starting something of our own, building a legacy together. Back then, I had no doubts. I believed in her. In us. But belief has a way of becoming brittle. It only takes a crack to change everything. And the first one? It didn't explode, it whispered. It was something small at first. A harmless joke, or so it seemed. We were at a work mixer, and Myra told a story about how I once planned a trip to Miami during hurricane season. Everyone laughed. I laughed too. But she pushed it further, mocking me for Googling what to do during a hurricane, poking fun at me thinking hiding in a bathtub was a legitimate safety plan. People cracked up. I smiled, but something twisted inside. She wrapped it up with, "Tom's great in a crisis as long as it involves ordering pizza." That one hit a nerve. I noticed the way a few people glanced at me, waiting to see how I'd react. I just nodded, kept it cool. Another time, at a charity auction, she joked about my approach to budgeting, saying I just closed my eyes and hoped the bills would pay themselves. I didn't say a word. Just tightened my grip on my wine glass. The last straw came during a dinner with some of her department leads. Someone brought up renovations and I mentioned we were thinking about updating the kitchen. Before I could finish, she cut in, "We'll see if Tom figures out how to use a drill first. Last time he tried to hang a shelf, I had to call my brother." Laughter followed. Even her VP laughed. That night, on the drive home, the silence between us was heavy. I finally said it, "You enjoy making me look like an idiot in front of people?" She sighed, dismissive. "It was just a joke. Don't be so sensitive." That word, sensitive, she wielded it like a blade. Every time I raised a concern, she made it about my weakness. But it wasn't weakness. It was recognition. I was seeing things clearly for the first time. She didn't want a partner, she wanted an audience. And I was her favorite punchline. At home, things still functioned. We still took trips, still acted like things were normal. But they weren't. She started staying at work later, said she had networking events, team meetings, strategy sessions. I wanted to trust her. I tried to trust her. But then came the night I brought her dinner as a surprise. Her assistant looked confused, said she'd left over an hour ago for date night. When Myra came home, I was still holding the tacos. She didn't even blink, just said, "Oh, I told them that?" Must have forgotten. I was out with the team, Brian from finance, a few others. She said it like she was reading off a grocery list. I couldn't sleep that night. Not because I was certain, but because I knew the truth was just waiting to be found. I started paying closer attention, quietly. Each time she claimed she'd be out late, I made a note. Every time she mentioned Brian, I logged it. I didn't accuse. I didn't fight. I just listened. Then came the night she got home humming a tune, smelling like bar smoke. She said it was Brian's birthday, that just a few people went out. When she went to shower, I checked her phone. Same passcode. But the thread with Brian? Completely wiped. Gone. That's when I knew. I reached out to Leo, a close friend in IT. Not corporate, but personal, discreet. "Can you recover deleted texts from cloud backups?" I asked. He didn't hesitate. "Send me her login. I've got you." 2 days later, he sent me a folder. It wasn't just messages, it was everything. Screenshots, videos, audio files. The texts between Myra and Brian had been going on for months. They weren't just flirty. They were vulgar, mocking. They laughed about me, joked about how clueless I was. One voice memo had Brian saying, "He still has no idea. You're ruthless." And Myra? She just laughed. That moment wasn't heartbreak. It was a revelation. The mask was off. And I knew what I had to do. I didn't confront her. I got organized. Collected every piece of evidence, printed messages, saved files, documented everything. I stored it all in a folder marked insurance, hidden away. I even planted a discreet voice recorder in the living room just in case. I played it cool. I cooked dinner, asked about her day, smiled when she mentioned Brian like I didn't already know the script. She looked relaxed, confident. Perfect. Then I contacted a lawyer, Michelle. Calm, direct, razor sharp. I laid it all out and she mapped the plan. No theatrics, no emotional outbursts. Just strategy. Leverage. Timing. The real break came when I found out Brian was married. I reached out to his wife, Anna. Sent her some proof. She responded fast, wanted to meet. When we sat down at a quiet cafe, she wasn't shocked. He said he was mentoring her, she said flatly. We didn't cry. We exchanged information and a silent agreement. We'd handle this like a mission. Soon after, the company got anonymous tips. HR got involved. Ethics hotline lit up. I didn't stop with divorce plans, I went after the professional fallout. The company had a leadership retreat coming up. Myra had finally made the guest list and was buzzing with excitement. This is where careers are made, she said while packing. Is Brian going? I asked casually. Of course, she said. 3 days into the retreat, I got a call. HR was investigating an inappropriate relationship. They were contacting spouses. I gave them timelines, names, receipts. When she returned, she looked pale. Someone made a complaint, she said. Probably some jealous admin. She was testing me. If it's all made up, I said calmly, then you've got nothing to worry about. For once, she had no reply. Within a week, both she and Brian were suspended. Company accounts frozen, devices confiscated. I found her in the kitchen one morning, staring blankly at her coffee. I worked so hard, she muttered. And you tore it down, I said. That's when she cracked. Do you even care that they're destroying my career? I looked her in the eye. Did you care when you destroyed our marriage? That shut her up. 2 weeks later, the company let her go. Quiet internal memo, policy breach, ethical misconduct. No names, but the office knew. Brian? Same fate. Anna filed for divorce and shared parts of the affair online, just enough to ruin him professionally. No one in the industry wanted him now. Myra came home that day empty-eyed. I'll fix this, she said. I have contacts. I didn't argue. The next morning, I handed her the divorce papers. Come. Unshaken. Irreconcilable. She didn't seem shocked, just resigned. You knew this was coming, she said. Every step of it, she added with a hollow laugh. You were just waiting for me to fail. I shook my head. No. I made sure you'd stumble on your own. She tried to push back, hiring a low-cost lawyer, but without any real money, her options were limited. I had everything documented, recordings, emails, and all the digital traces. My attorney, Michelle, swept through the case. In court, Myra's lawyer attempted to play the victim card, claiming she was under immense pressure at work and that I had been emotionally distant. The judge interrupted. Let's stick to the facts. And we did. I walked away with the house, the accounts, everything she thought she'd take for granted. She left with barely anything. She never did figure out how HR was tipped off, or how Anna and I synchronized our accounts, or how I ensured that her downfall would be quiet but absolute. People often say that revenge is messy and that it eats away at you, but I didn't feel any of that. I wasn't angry. I was clear-headed, focused. When the judge read the final decision, I didn't grin or celebrate. I just shook Michelle's hand and walked out without a second glance. Because the real victory wasn't what I gained, it was what I'd held on to, myself. A month after the divorce was finalized, I got a text from Myra. Can we talk just once? I stared at the screen for a few moments before I replied, 1 hour, tomorrow noon, new cafe downtown. She arrived 5 minutes late, wearing the same black blazer she always wore when she wanted to appear in control. It didn't have that effect anymore. Tom, she started as if she had practiced it, thanks for meeting me. I nodded. Say what you need to. She sat down, hesitated for a moment, then spoke. I just don't understand. How did it all happen so fast? I took a sip of my coffee. It wasn't fast. It was slow. And deliberate. She looked at me, a tightness in her jaw. So, it was you. You tipped off HR. I didn't flinch. Yes. Her gaze shifted, then returned. You ruined everything I worked for. No, I replied. You ruined it. I just turned the lights on. She didn't argue, just let it hang there between us, heavy with the truth. Then I leaned forward slightly. I didn't destroy you, Myra. I exposed you. You can blame me if it's easier, but the truth is, you tore everything down for a fling with someone who barely saw you as more than a distraction. Her voice softened, barely audible. You still sound angry. I'm not angry, I said, my voice calm. I'm free. She opened her mouth as if to say something else, but the words never came. We sat there in silence for a long moment. Finally, she stood up and without a word she walked away. I didn't watch her leave, I didn't need to. 6 years ago, I met a woman who made the room stop when she entered. Today she couldn't even look me in the eye. I paid the bill and stepped outside, not looking back. It was done. Quietly. Without drama. And for the first time in a long time, that was enough.